The Bushido Kendo Dojo stood like a quiet sentinel in Chicago's Logan Square, its neon sign flickering in the cool September evening of 2025. Housed in a 1,500 square foot converted warehouse, the dojo's worn hardwood floors bore the scars of countless kendo bouts, each scuff a testament to sweat and discipline. A bulletin board by the entrance sagged under a chaotic array of flyers. Labor Day Open House Monday 6 p.m. Free Youth Kendo Clinic. Bring your friends for sparring demos. The air carried the faint aroma of polished wood and the savory waft of burgers from Joe's Diner across the street, where students often sprawled in booths, debating superhero flicks over fries. Outside, the working-class neighborhood pulsed with life. Kids zipped by on bikes, their laughter mingling with the hum of a street vendor's taco cart and the distant clatter of the L train. This was Chicago, raw and unfiltered, where community thrived in the cracks of the city's concrete. Inside, the dojo buzzed with a different rhythm. A cluster of students, their sneakers squeaking on the linoleum lobby floor, crowded around a phone, chuckling over a clip from the latest Marvel movie. Man, that Thor hammer throw? Total game changer, one grinned, nudging another. Their voices echoed off the walls, blending with the sharp ki shouts and bamboo shinai cracks from the training floor beyond. The dojo wasn't just a place to swing swords. It was a neighborhood anchor, drawing teens, young professionals, and even a few curious retirees. With the Labor Day open house looming, the energy was electric. Students already plotting to hang red, white, blue streamers and string fairy lights for a festive vibe. A nod to the community's pride in its American roots. Into this lively chaos stepped a man, his presence so understated it barely registered. Tall and lean, in his mid-50s. He wore a faded black windbreaker, its elbows threadbare, and dusty boots that whispered of long journeys. A baseball cap sat low, shadowing his eyes, and a simple black mask covered his lower face, a lingering habit from cautious years. A worn canvas duffel hung over his shoulder, its strap frayed but reliable. Around his neck, a 2-inch wooden pendant swayed on a leather cord, etched with the initials T.H. Tanaka Hirotaka, a name that meant nothing to this crowd, but everything to him. It was a silent vow to a mentor long gone, a promise to keep something sacred alive. His eyes, calm and piercing, scanned the room, missing nothing, though no one noticed the calluses on his hands or the steadiness in his stance. At the front desk, a young woman named Emma looked up from her tablet, her braids swinging as she eyed the newcomer with polite skepticism. "Hey, can I help you?" she asked, her tone hinting at doubt. This guy didn't fit the usual dojo mold. No sleek gym bag, no eager bravado. He nodded once, his voice low and steady. "I heard you take beginners." Emma's smile was courteous but guarded, the kind reserved for those who might flake after one class. "Yeah, we've got a fundamentals class, but fair warning, it's intense, not a casual thing." His eyes crinkled faintly, a flicker of amusement. "I'm not here casually. Name's Casey." Emma tapped her screen. "Got it, Casey. Any martial arts experience?" He paused. Just a breath. "A bit," he said, the words true but heavy with untold stories. The training floor door slid open, revealing a storm of motion, students in full Bogue armor, their shinai clashing with thunderous strikes. At the center stood Sensei Marcus, a former Marine in his late 40s, his muscular frame filling a spotless GI like a drill sergeant turned martial artist. His voice boomed, crisp and commanding, as he barked footwork drills. Emma leaned toward the door. "Sensei Marcus, drop in beginner." Marcus strode over, wiping sweat from his neck with a towel, his eyes flicking over Casey once. Mid-50s, too quiet, no spark of the typical weekend warrior. "Kendo experience?" Marcus asked, his tone sharp. Casey shook his head. "No, but I've trained with a Bach and some." Marcus's eyes narrowed. It's different when you're hit back. Casey's voice was even. I know. Marcus gave him another look, then shrugged. Trial class is $20. GI rentals 10. Observe first, join if I clear you. Casey handed over neatly folded bills. No hesitation. 20 minutes later, Casey stood at the dojo's edge in a borrowed GI and hakama, the fabric loose on his lean frame. His hands fumbled the straps of his men, as if unfamiliar, but his movements held a quiet precision. In the corner, Derek, a 25-year-old with a TikTok following and a chip on his shoulder, nudged a friend, smirking. Old dude thinks he's a samurai, he muttered, phone out, already filming for a post captioned, Grandpa tries samurai cosplay. The clip would hit 10,000 views by nightfall. Most students, focused on drills or their phones, barely noticed Casey. But Lila did, a 19-year-old community college student who joined Kendo to shake off the shyness of her high school years. Her form was solid but rigid, her focus fierce, and something about Casey drew her gaze. He stood at the line's end, perfectly still, his shinai hanging naturally, like it belonged there. No one saw his feet shift a half-inch for balance or the rhythm of his breath, deep and controlled. No one knew he was Keanu Reeves. Lila watched as Casey joined the first drill, his strike landing late, his ki a faint murmur. Marcus winced. Timing, Casey, not swinging wild. Derek leaned in, grinning. Bet he's got John Wick vibes in his head. The laughter was light, careless, but Lila noticed something. Casey's posture stayed firm, his eyes calm under the cap's brim. He bowed after every correction, adjusted silently. His mistakes seemed almost too precise. At the water cooler, Lila approached him. You okay? She asked, offering a shy smile. He glanced at her, eyes kind but guarded. Just winded. Nothing new. First time with Kendo? She pressed. He shrugged. First class. Trained with a shinai in Japan long ago. Lila's curiosity sparked, but Marcus's shout cut her off. Line up! As Casey returned to the floor, the pendant glinted, a quiet promise, and Lila wondered what kind of man hid such skill behind a beginner's facade. The Bushido Kendo dojo thrummed with anticipation as the Labor Day open house approached, its 2,500-square-foot training floor alive with the sharp clack of bamboo shinai and students' ki shouts. Casey, the quiet newcomer in his mid-50s, stood out, not for flair, but for his apparent clumsiness. During drills, his strikes landed a beat late, his shinai wobbling as if guided by an unsteady hand. Derek, the 25-year-old influencer, hungry for TikTok clout, seized the chance to mock him, leaning toward a friend with a smirk. What's next, dodging bullets like Neo? He quipped, his voice loud enough to draw snickers from nearby students. The Matrix reference landed perfectly, a nod to the pop culture that bonded the group. But Casey didn't flinch, his eyes calm under his baseball cap's brim. He bowed silently after each missed strike, his 3-foot shinai hanging naturally at his side. Sensei Marcus, his marine-honed instincts sharp, barked corrections from the center of the dojo. Casey, tighten your form. It's Kendo, not a dance. His tone was harsh, his pride as a former competitor bristling at Casey's sloppy movements. Yet Casey only nodded, adjusting his stance with a precision no one but Lila noticed. At 19, Lila was still finding her confidence through Kendo, her high school shyness lingering in her stiff form. But her eyes caught what others missed. Casey's breathing, deep and rhythmic, never faltered. His feet, shifting a half-inch, always found perfect balance. Why would someone so controlled play the novice? Her curiosity grew, a quiet spark in the dojo's noisy rhythm. The students' chatter turned to the upcoming Labor Day event, a chance to showcase Kendo to the neighborhood. Red, white, blue banners, a nod to Chicago's patriotic pride, were piled in a corner, ready to transform the dojo into a festive hub. Casey, unnoticed by most, helped Lila hang one across a 10-foot beam, His quiet teamwork, steady and unassuming. "Thanks," Lila said, surprised by his effort. Derek rolled his eyes, muttering, "Grandpa's trying too hard," his phone capturing Casey's awkward GI adjustments for another viral jab. But Lila saw the pendant at Casey's neck, a 2-inch wooden oval etched with TH, glint as he worked, and later, at the water cooler, she overheard him murmur, "A teacher gave it to me, saw something in me." His voice was soft, heavy with memory. The words stuck with Lila. Casey wasn't just a beginner. The pendant tied him to a vow, perhaps to a rare kata learned in 2008 for 47 Ronin, a film she vaguely recalled. His humility wasn't weakness. It was deliberate, a shield for something sacred. As Derek's taunts echoed and Marcus's critiques sharpened, Lila watched Casey bow respectfully, his calm unshaken, and wondered what mastery lay hidden beneath his faded windbreaker, waiting for the right moment to emerge. The night air was cool in Logan Square, the 50x50-foot park near the dojo, bathed in moonlight as Lila jogged along its winding path at midnight, earbuds pulsing with a low beat. It was Saturday, June 7th, 2025, and the 19-year-old needed to clear her head after another tense Kendo class. Derek's mocking videos of Casey, the quiet newcomer, had spiked online. His latest clip, captioned "Grandpa's Samurai Fail," racking up 15,000 views. Marcus's sharp critiques of Casey's sloppy form echoed in her mind, but so did Casey's steady breathing, his half-inch foot, shifts that screamed control. Who was he, really? As Lila slowed near a cluster of oak trees, a figure caught her eye, moving in the clearing like water-carving stone. It was Casey, his 3-foot Bakken slicing the air in a flawless kata, each motion precise, deliberate, under the silver glow. His faded windbreaker was gone, revealing a lean frame that moved with effortless grace, the pendant at his neck glinting faintly. Lila froze, her phone slipping into her hand. She hit record, capturing Casey's kata. Snap strikes, frozen stillness, a final draw cut so absolute it seemed to hush the night. His feet barely touched the grass, his breath a rhythmic pulse. Inhale, strike, exhale, reset. This wasn't the clumsy beginner from class. This was mastery, raw and meditative. Lila uploaded the clip privately to TikTok. Her caption, simple. "Is this guy a samurai?" By morning, it had 3 million views. Comments flooding in, "That's no beginner." "Is that Keanu Reeves?" The viral buzz electrified her, but also deepened her questions. Back at her apartment, Lila dug online, scouring forums until she found a 2008 post on a Koryu Budo subforum. A blurry photo showed 3 men before a Kyoto shrine, an elderly sensei, a translator, and a younger Casey, Keanu Reeves. The caption read, "Actor Keanu Reeves trained with Tanaka-sensei in 2008 for 47 Ronin, earning private lessons in a rare family kata for his discipline." Lila's pulse raced. Casey was Keanu, hiding his skill behind a beginner's facade. Meanwhile, Derek's latest video, mocking Casey's wobbly, shinai grip, hit 20,000 views, his followers jeering online. But Lila's clip sparked a different fire. Comments like, "That's Keanu," and "Bro's a legit swordsman," spread like wildfire, fueling speculation. At the dojo, Lila overheard students buzzing about her video, but Marcus scoffed, adjusting his GI. "No celebrities slumming it here," he said, his marine pride dismissing the idea. Derek, scrolling his phone, smirked, oblivious to the truth. Lila kept silent, her mind racing. Casey's pendant, his whispered words about a teacher who saw something in him. It all clicked. He wasn't here to learn. He was preserving a legacy, hiding mastery in plain sight. As the Labor Day event loomed, Lila sensed the dojo was on the edge of something bigger, a revelation waiting to unfold. The Bushido Kendo dojo buzzed with excitement on Labor Day evening, June 7, 2025. Its 2,500-square-foot training floor transformed into a vibrant community stage. 50 chairs lined the walls, filled with families sipping lemonade from paper cups and clutching iPhones, ready to capture the open house. Red, white, blue streamers draped the ceiling, reflecting Chicago's patriotic pride, while the scent of popcorn mingled with the dojo's familiar polish and sweat aroma. Sensei Marcus, his GI pristine, stood at the center, his marine-honed voice booming as he welcomed the crowd. "Tonight's about Kendo for all," he declared, announcing a friendly sparring match against Casey, the quiet beginner, to showcase inclusivity. The crowd clapped, unaware of the storm brewing, as Derek, the influencer, smirked from the sidelines, his phone poised to mock Casey's samurai cosplay for his 25,000 TikTok followers. Casey stepped onto the mat, his borrowed GI loose, the 2-inch pendant at his neck glinting faintly. His 3-foot shinai hung lightly in his calloused hands, his stance relaxed, almost vulnerable. Marcus, exuding confidence, took a textbook-perfect kendo stance, his eyes sharp with competitive fire. The crowd leaned in, kids crunching popcorn, parents scrolling social media. Marcus struck first, a crisp jab to Casey's head, but Casey shifted a half-inch, the shinai whistling past his men. The second attack, a men-kote-do combination, met air as Casey turned, his movements fluid, effortless, his shinai barely stirring. By the fourth exchange, the dojo fell silent. Parents paused their iPhones, kids dropped popcorn, the crackle of rappers stilled. Marcus's brow glistened, his strikes growing sharper, less controlled, his ki a strained roar. Casey hadn't swung once, yet Marcus couldn't touch him. Lila, standing near the water cooler, watched with bated breath. She'd seen Casey's midnight kata, knew he was Keanu Reeves, hiding mastery behind a beginner's facade. As Marcus lunged again, Lila's friend, scrolling TikTok, gasped and shared Lila's viral video, now at 3.5 million views, whispering, "That's him!" Murmurs rippled. "Keanu Reeves." "No way!" Marcus charged, his shinai aimed at Casey's head in a wild, angry arc. Casey moved, a single step, a pivot, a lightning-fast sweep of his 3-foot shinai. Crack. Marcus's shinai flew from his grip, skidding 10 feet across the hardwood. A collective gasp erupted, lemonade cups forgotten, iPhones raised in awe. Casey stood still, his blade angled down, his breathing unchanged. Lila whispered, "It's him," her voice barely audible. The match ended. Casey bowed, then reached up, slowly pulling off his black mask. A tired smile crossed his face, his eyes, kind but weary, confirming the whispers without a word. The crowd buzzed, kids pointing, parents filming, Derek's smirk frozen as his phone lowered. Marcus, chest heaving, retrieved his shinai, his marine pride wrestling with shock. Casey stepped back, his 2-inch pendant catching the light, a silent nod to Tanaka-sensei's legacy. The dojo, once a stage for mockery, now hummed with reverence. Lila clutched her shinai, knowing this moment, Casey's quiet triumph, would change the dojo forever, a testament to the power of humility over bravado. The fluorescent lights of the Bushido Kendo dojo dimmed as the Labor Day open house crowd dispersed, their lemonade cups and iPhone videos carrying whispers of Casey's stunning sparring match into the Chicago night of June 7, 2025. In the quiet hallway, Sensei Marcus caught Casey before he could slip away, his marine-honed pride softened by the shock of defeat. "You've been holding back," Marcus said, his voice low, no longer commanding. "That wasn't luck out there. Why hide it?" Casey adjusted his duffel's frayed strap, the 2-inch wooden pendant at his neck catching the light, etched with TH, Tanaka Hirotaka. His eyes, calm but heavy with memory, met Marcus's. "I came to honor my teacher's kata, not to compete," he said. Tanaka-sensei taught me the blade matters more than the spotlight. I wanted to see if that still held true here. Marcus, humbled, nodded, a flicker of respect replacing his earlier skepticism. For the first time, he saw Casey not as a beginner, but as a keeper of something sacred, a lesson in humility that cut deeper than any shinai. Casey didn't return to class the next day. No call, no text, no name on the sign-in sheet. Lila, the 19-year-old whose quiet observation had unraveled Casey's secret, felt the absence like a missing heartbeat. She lingered after drills, her eyes darting to the dojo's glass door, hoping to see his faded windbreaker. Instead, she found a slim black case by her locker, unmarked save for a kanji etched near the handle loyalty. Inside lay a polished 3-foot bakken, its wood gleaming, light, but perfectly balanced. A red silk thread, wound tight around the hilt, knotted with care, a symbol of fidelity to a shared legacy. Beneath it was a folded note, handwritten in a steady, elegant hand. Lila, you saw the kata for what it was, a memory, not a show. Tanaka-sensei gave it to me when I'd lost my way. Keep it alive, not for fame, but for meaning. Casey. Lila's hands trembled as she read, her eyes stinging. The bakken wasn't just a gift. It was a charge, a call to carry forward what Casey, Keanu Reeves, had protected in silence. The dojo transformed in Casey's wake. Word of his quiet mastery spread, drawing 40 new students to the 2,500-square-foot space, their sneakers squeaking on the hardwood, eager to learn where a legend had trained. Marcus, his pride tempered, launched a free youth class, mentoring kids from Logan Square with patience he'd once reserved for champions. Derek, the influencer whose taunts had fueled TikTok, posted a rare apology video, his usual bravado gone, admitting, "I misjudged him." The clip hit 50,000 views, a small redemption in the digital spotlight he craved. But Lila felt the deepest change. At midnight, she stood in the 50x50-foot park near the dojo, the same moonlit clearing where Casey's kata had first revealed his truth. With the bakken in hand, she taught a young student, 12-year-old Mia, the opening moves of Tanaka's kata. Her strikes were sharper now, imbued with purpose, each motion a tribute to Casey's lesson skill is empty without heart. The lessons Casey left behind were profound, resonating with American values of resilience and humility. First, true mastery doesn't need a stage. Casey's choice to train as a beginner, absorbing mockery without retaliation, showed that strength lies in restraint, a reminder for a culture often dazzled by fame. Second, legacy is about giving, not taking. His bakken and note to Lila weren't for glory, but to inspire growth, echoing the American ideal of uplifting others. Third, community thrives on respect. Marcus's shift from pride to mentorship, and Derek's apology reflected how one person's authenticity can ripple outward, strengthening bonds in a neighborhood like Logan Square. Finally, purpose outweighs recognition. Casey's vow to honor Tanaka-sensei taught Lila, and all who witnessed, that meaning comes from within, not from external applause, a powerful antidote to a world chasing likes and followers. Lila stood in the moonlit park, the bakken steady in her grip, Chicago's skyline glowing faintly on the horizon. The city's lights, like Casey's quiet presence, spoke of resilience, unseen but enduring. She reflected, her voice a whisper to the night, "Find your dojo, not to shine, but to grow. Not for the crowd, but for the memory you carry." The words felt like a vow, tying her to Casey's legacy, urging her to forge her own path with the same quiet courage. The kata she practiced wasn't just a form. It was a bridge between past and future, a reminder that even the smallest acts, teaching a child, bowing after a mistake, could echo like a master's strike. To you, our audience, thank you for joining this journey through Chicago's streets and Casey's silent blade. Your support brings stories like this to life, reminding us how one person's humility can inspire millions. If Casey's tale moved you, hit that subscribe button and join our community. We've got more stories of quiet heroes waiting. Share your thoughts below. What's your dojo? Your place to grow. Let's keep the conversation alive. As Lila stepped forward, her bokken slicing the air, the moonlight caught the red silk thread, a final nod to Casey, whose legacy lived on in every strike, every breath, every heart he touched without ever seeking the spotlight. Chicago's skyline shimmered, a silent promise that resilience, like a kata, endures.